Now in Taobao, you can buy a lot of Chinese GPU and Chinese display card. Like this one is the Fenghua by Innosilicon. Fenghua number 2. Fenghua 2号. Just $500 RMB. It's very good, like GTX 1050 level. And the second one is the more flat MTTS 30. Just 600 something RMB as well, so that you can buy a lot of those kind of things. And the third one is the Jumbo IC JM9100. This is the lower level, but it's okay. You can still buy it, and there are so many, at least 4 of them. 4 you can buy directly on Taobao, and this is the Jiaoxin Glenfire GT Arise GT 10CO. So this is a little bit more expensive, it's just 1,000. So you can also buy it, and also it is good. So many Chinese GPU and Chinese. This is more expensive, 4,800. Because it is the most self-invest homegrown one. And here I will show you one by one for that kind of things. You see here. Okay. See the JM2, Jinjiang Micro. The T-Flux is around 1.2 T-Flux. And 128 GB RAM, and I will compare with the other Innosilicon, that Fenghua 2号, the Fenghua second, Fantasy number 2. So that is this. I will compare it. Okay, now here is the spec. I turn it on, open it more, and comparing to the JM2. So here is the 1.2 T-Flux. But the Innosilicon, that Fantasy number 2, is 1.5 T-Flux. So it's faster. Right? Yeah, it's faster. 1.2 comparing to 1.5 T-Flux for FP32 processing power. So also it supports DirectX for the Fenghua Fantasy 2, but the Jinjiang no supporting DirectX and Windows, only support Linux and OpenCL, those kind of things. So the Innosilicon, that is better because it is powered by the Imagination Power VR, the former Apple's GPU. The Apple they used that kind of GPU for the iPhone. Remember it? Power VR Imagination company. But now the Imagination company already was bought by the Chinese company Canyon Bridge. So that is Chinese company, Chinese GPU, and the more flat, this one, MTTS 30. The T-Flux is 2.6 T-Flux, is the fastest. But so many online tests, the benchmark, resulting that the others are better. The Innosilicon, that the Fantasy 2 is better. The Glenfire, this Arise GT 10CO, is very close to the Fantasy 2, the Fenghua 2号, also 1.5 T-Flux, and also, you know, same those kind of data, 1.5 T-Flux, and also 48 GP second, and also supporting Windows, DirectX, and Linux, and also OpenCL GL. But also the more flat and Innosilicon also bought the Imagination Power VR IP. So They developed by it, but the grandfather Zhaoxin that because they bought the via Taiwanese chip CPU maker, and the Taiwanese VIA via bought American S3 as well. S3 graphics, remember the former very old one. So they got the S3 technology for the GPU. So here is the GPU, the JM, Jinjiang Micro, the Jimbo IC is the lowest one, the lowest performance, but the most expensive because pure Chinese GPU invented by the Chinese military, for the military, for the jet fighter, for the jet plane. So here I am playing my JM9100 for your demonstration for playing the game is JM9100, and the FPS is around 20 to 30 because it's the low-end GPU. But when you play no more people, no more NPC will up to 60 to 70 FPS frame per second. So now it's playing so smooth. So the history is like that. The Canyon Bridge, the Chinese company bought the Imagination Power VR company. That's why the Power VR is maybe Imagination is the British company. So that now the Chinese company owning the technology of the Imagination GPU technology, so that the more thread and the silicon that Fantasy 2 having that kind of level of developing the IP by the Imagination IP, they just buy it and then they can use it. But the JM, the Jumbo, Jinjiang Micro is the most self-homegrown one. So it's very expensive. You can see it's 408,000 RMB for the JM2, but the performance is the lowest among the four, right? But no worries, still very good. Now the Chinese company bought it, so the Chinese company bought the Imagination, so that the more thread and the inner silicon is also okay. Then the most performance, the highest is the more thread S80, but not supporting the loongson CPU. Now I'm using the loongson CPU showing you. So many Chinese CPU, GPU now.